Hey, I'm Alix. I'm the name mentor. I've been in this naming sphere dimension career professionally for over 10 years. And I wanted to address the current elephant in the room, the latest elephant to come across our desk, and that is the BabyCenter article about names that are going extinct. And if you read the article, it says it was fact-checked. And the reasoning behind the article is that this set of names that they were highlighting have dropped in popularity by a couple hundred spaces. If you don't know, the Social Security Administration publishes the most popular baby names every year. It's a year behind, of course. So this year we get the 2022, and I'm very excited. So every year we get to see the most popular names used. And so the names that they had highlighted had dropped in popularity. And the concern was that these names were going to go extinct. Now, one of the names that happened to be on that list was Kate. And I think that we can all agree that Kate is not going to go anywhere unless Kate happens to become the next world dominating dictator like Adolf Hitler. I think Adolf clearly has had some not so great name dark cloud over it for some time because that name is so heavily associated with a person who was terrible. So unless that happens to Kate, I don't see the name Kate going extinct. But it did just make me contemplate what they were trying to say, to consider it, and my perspective is that, okay, what is an extinct name? Dinosaurs have gone extinct. Are there these dinosaur names that seem harmful to society that we're letting go? And like, for example, a dinosaur name right now is Adolf. We really don't want to revive it because it kind of is connected to that horrible monster of history, even though there are so many other men named Adolf who were like the best people. So it's just, it brings all this conflict up of, can names be redeemed? And yes, they for sure can be tied negatively to people, these moments in history, because names are fashion. They come and go. I'm sure you've heard the 100-year cycle where names, when they start to fall out of fashion, if you give it 100 years, they'll be fashionable again. We've seen that with Sophie and Evelyn and all those beautiful vintage names that are now being used on modern children. And give it time, Caden and Madison will become the next 100-year rule names, if you can believe it. It's just fun. Names are fashion. And names are so connected in history because they're the names of people and events and places. So to say a name is going extinct, you have to look at the last many thousands of years to see that names do have cycles, and names can also belong to a time. So if you want to talk about names that have actually gone extinct, meaning they're no longer in use today, you can look at the Middle Ages. You've got Theodoric. We use Theodore, but you had Theodoric, and you had Daigle and Godfrey and Dragoslava and Brunhild and Hortense and Chestimir, Balthazar. Beautiful names, but they are not really being used today because in this realm, in this age that we're in, this society, this culture, this set of people have put parameters on what are acceptable, normal names. And I've talked about this before, that America has created almost an apple pie of names. Names that seem normal to Americans. Now, America has had the amazing benefit of immigrants coming through and bringing their cultures, and it has infused this apple pie of some beautiful names. But people tend to get caught in what is acceptable in America, which is very nearsighted because names are so much bigger and they've been around so much longer than what an opinion today is. An opinion today is not going to last long. It's going to last until the next cycle, and names are so much bigger. So I am going to publish a list of names that some would call extinct, and I would say they haven't been used in a little while. Maybe they're ready for revival. And then I'm going to publish a list of names alongside that that truly are extinct, meaning names from the Middle Ages that you don't hear today, but that are still super cool. And I think you'll see that I guess I just don't believe that names can go extinct because we still speak them, we still learn about them, and they're attached to history. So even though nobody is naming their daughter Millicent right now or Hortense, there still were women with that name. And I think that's so powerful because people lived. Those names lived. So the idea of names going extinct sounds bizarre to me. I think that names fall out of fashion. And we're seeing the name Karen going through a little bit of a shunning right now, which I think is so unfortunate because it was ready for revival. Who doesn't love Karen from Frosty the Snowman with Burl Ives? Just gorgeous and beautiful and endearing. And people are going to try to curse it now and say, nobody's going to name their baby Karen. Well, people still are naming their baby Karen because names are bigger than what's happening right now. And give it 50 to 100 years, people aren't going to care about the memes. There's going to be a whole new era. And who knows what names will be socially acceptable then as well. So it's very exciting. And those are my 2 cents. And happy naming.